what's going on between me and say that we have a real connection.
Does that mean you're sleeping together?
Look at this.
Hey guys, we're back and we're talking The Ultimatum Season 3.
That's right, baby. We were out like about a month and a half hiatus. You know, there was no real
good shows.
there was like no good love shows for us, man. After that last season of Love Is Blind. So, but hey, man, we're back for Ultimatum. Looking forward to it.
Yep, the show's back. What do we think of the cast?
It's good, man. I mean, a lot of beautiful people. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of beautiful people this cast. You know, I mean, they're all good-looking people. Like, there's nobody that was like even. I don't need to say there's too many really mediocre, man. It was all just really good-looking crowd this time around.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
like all the guys?
so dudes are all good-looking dudes. I mean, Caleb's kind of like Caleb's kind of.
What you think about Caleb there?
He's like an average looking guy,
Jake Gyllenhaal.
but the dude's got such a freaking great heart, man. Or yeah, I guess I can see maybe
A
a
little
little kind of maybe a little Jake Gyllenhaal
I
look
don't
to
know,
him,
I
but
like
not
him.
as good looking as Jake Gyllenhaal.
Now
man.
we got someone from Love Is Blind on this show, right?
Jessica's here.
She does look a lot
Dude,
like
she looks like totally like Jessica, man. Like when I saw the first freaking preview for the show, I was like, they get freaking Jessica. I was like, what the hell
She
is this?
acts just like her.
Oh, she
too.
does, dude.
Yeah.
Totally acts like her.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like she like completely copied Jessica's look and the way she acted and everything, and just brought it straight to the show and just Jessica 2.0, man.
Yeah, I like Jessica a little bit better, but I don't like
Really?
this girl at all.
Oh.
Nah, I was not a big Sandy fan
Mm.
either.
Yeah,
No,
I am not feeling her.
I didn't like the guy who left. Did I ruin that?
Oh, who? Dave? You didn't like Dave? Or are you talking about Micah? Micah or Dave? Which one? They both left.
Dave.
Dave was a really tall white
Dave,
dude.
she don't like
yeah,
Dave.
I didn't like Dave at all.
Yeah, Dave wasn't that great looking of a dude. There you go, man. That's the other
Yeah.
guy's
Yeah,
kinda
he
like
was
that.
He's kind of
kinda
tall, but
Yeah, he was a tall dude, no doubt.
I didn't like him at all.
All the women were gorgeous, man.
Yeah.
yeah, who do you like the best?
Out of the women?
Yeah, first.
I was digging Zayn pretty good.
I
man.
was digging
I
Zayn
was
too.
digging
Of course, Zayn was awesome.
Yeah.
Arya's freaking pretty hot too, man. I was digging Arya. I was like, yeah.
I liked
I mean,
Chanel
Vanessa-
a little bit.
Yeah, I like Chanel too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, dude,
Chanel.
it's funny. I was totally with Vanessa on this one. Vanessa's like, dude, your voice is just amazing. I was digging her voice. She had like that.
Vanessa?
Chanel, dude.
Oh,
Vanessa was
yeah,
telling
yeah.
Chanel about her
Yeah.
voice. I was like, yeah, she's totally got like that sultry, just freaking awesome voice, man. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you like Vanessa's
Yeah,
voice
but
at
I
all.
didn't really-
No. Vanessa reminded me of Sarah Silverman, like her voice and everything, the way she acted. That's kind of the vibe I got from Vanessa.
Well,
But,
we
she was a good looking woman, but her voice
Yeah.
and the way she acted kind of reminded me of Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
Of course, we got Nick and Vanessa Lachey back.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And got another Nick and
Uh-huh.
Vanessa on this
That's
show.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sandy says like the grass could be greener. Like
And she was definitely
they won.
She was definitely willing to find out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And she was given the ultimatum
Mm-hmm.
by Nick.
Yeah.
Has this? I mean, we're in 3 seasons of this. How do we feel about
Dude.
the ultimatum?
Well, I'll tell you how I feel about it. So, I mean, you had 2 freaking full couples leave this season, like right off the bat. It's like there's already been so many damn seasons of this out. You know, this like you guys already know what to expect coming in the show. So what the hell you doing coming on and then leaving? You know, so you need to stick it out.
Well, this
You know
is
what I
a
mean?
stressful show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I I don't understand who signs up for this show. Like, what mentality you're at in your relationship for the person who's giving the ultimatum to want to be on the show, and then the person receiving. Like, there's 2 different motives to wanting to be on this show based on whether you're giving the ultimatum or receiving the
I
ultimatum.
think
And it can come back to bite you in the ass if you're the one
It
giving it.
would think-
inevitably does every
Right.
time.
if you're
Yeah.
giving a person an ultimatum, you want something from that person, and they're not giving it to. So maybe you want to explore more. But sometimes, like as we see with Sandy, she takes it and runs with it.
Oh yeah.
It's like hall pass.
Yeah.
Exactly. No doubt.
Yeah. But I do also like how some of them embrace what I guess when they're not in the relationship with the other partner, like Caleb, and then when they're talking, it's like they're learning how to behave with
Somebody else for their partner.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're kind of coaching them, like, because you're not emotionally invested in that relationship, so it's a little bit easier to.
Yeah, but are you not? Because Caleb and Arya definitely started getting emotionally invested. Even though Caleb was trying to act like he wasn't, but like, dude, you were. And they were great together, too. I was like, damn, they're freaking. I mean, Caleb's a great dude. She's an awesome girl. I thought they were great together.
that's the risk, though.
Yeah.
When you're having that emotional
Yeah.
conversation and you're talking about these topics and having these emotional like connections and
All right, but let's now instead of getting ahead of ourselves here, let's get into these couples.
Yeah, and what I think too is kind of interesting is like the power dynamic. I think of the relationship
dude,
can
no
change.
Oh, yeah.
doubt.
Like we see
No
it with
doubt.
Dave early on, right? Because Dave's like excited.
oh yeah,
You know?
he calls
this
out
cat.
his who he wants. Like at the that was I think
Mariah.
the real,
Mariah. He's like,
that's
I'm
why I
thinking
didn't
Mariah.
like him.
Yeah.
And he talks about being super committed, but then talks about Mariah immediately
yeah.
after he says
Yeah.
that.
Is it-
Immediately, it's
right.
like
And it's like, bro, you're the least good looking dude on this show. Good luck.
Yeah, you
know?
might want to lock
Right.
that up.
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was funny, man.
the audacity.
Oh yeah, man, that turned on him quick.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't know. That guy, I don't know what he was thinking coming on this show, like putting her in that
like
position.
he was surprised that someone was interested in his girl. Like
Well, I guess she
That's
put
crazy.
him in that position, but still, like
Right.
he saw it as an opportunity, I guess.
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, she put him in the position, but that's clearly because he's not committing to her.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
he clearly thinks that maybe he can do something better, or like, why is he not all in?
Yeah, and I don't know why he's thinking that. Someone should have like
I
don't know,
his
told him
boy-
the truth
His
or
boy
something.
should have pulled him aside,
Yeah,
like, bro, what are you doing? You know?
sure you want to do that?
Right, exactly.
But they do the thing they always do. They have the speed dating and hang by the pool.
Mhm.
I mean,
They're
it's like
always
rinse and repeat.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
they
It's
can't
like-
even switch it up.
It's like every Netflix love show. You got to be in the skimpy little
Oh yeah,
like
gotta have all
bathing
your
suit, by
have
a
your ass
pool.
hanging out and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Zaina, at first I forgot they were going to the pool. I was like, what is this girl wearing? And I was like, oh, she's going to the pool. So,
Right.
you're like, this isn't too hot to handle. Like,
exactly. But what do you guys think about the speed dating phase?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it gives them a good opportunity, a quick opportunity to kind of get to know each other and see what they like about what people want to, well, because, what they don't like. Or it's funny because, we were talking about Dave earlier and he's like, oh yeah, I was always like real smooth with the ladies and this and that. And then his first speed date, he's like, yeah, so it's pretty hot here. And she's like, yeah.
You're from LA, right?
Orange County.
Orange County. Okay, yeah, it's hot there in the summer.
Yeah.
And then there was like, he couldn't
He's
talk.
like, bring up the weather, check.
Right. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, and Micah keeps referring to like his girl as his wife,
Mm.
Oh,
like which
I didn't like Micah
I'm not a big
either.
fan of,
Yeah.
but
Didn't
Oh, yeah.
like Micah either. He came across very controlling and very manipulative of her. Like condescending, controlling, manipulative, all of that. Because like he kept when they were having their conversations about like, do you think you're ready to how would you show up for me as a wife? And it's like nothing was about him being a husband. It's like, how are you going to be for me? It was all what he expected of her.
Are you talking about Micah or Scotty?
Micah.
Was Micah doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I don't remember Micah doing that much.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he's like, what makes you think you're ready to be your wife? Be
Oh,
your
okay,
wife.
that's right.
Yeah,
They
at the
did
very
have a conversation.
beginning.
You're right.
Like,
Yep,
yeah.
yep, you're right. They did.
yeah, and like Scotty and Zaina hit it off pretty quick, and then
Yeah.
Arya starts to lose it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of interesting because like they're flirting with your partner, like with you there.
Right.
It's a very awkward situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And some people it doesn't seem awkward at all, and then others are definitely bothered.
And it's
by it.
awkward for me to watch knowing they keep referring to their ex. And I'm like,
mm,
okay, you broke up with him 20 minutes ago.
Right.
And like, you don't really intend to break up with them. So like, don't call him your
Well,
ex.
and
But
Nick-
like,
and-
it's like, they all do it. Is like, are they like beaten into submission to call them their ex?
Nick being the oldest, the 38-year-old is he's the golden ultimatum.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's
How
okay,
old
right?
are you? Like,
I'm 38.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'm the golden ultimatum.
Yeah.
Basically.
I think
That dude said that. I was
I
like, oh
think
man.
that like reinforces the show for you though to say
Yeah.
like, look, that's my ex, so I'm here to meet someone new.
Right. Yeah, and I get it. They're trying to get in that mindset, like I'm not with them anymore. I'm here in the
Yeah.
dating scene. So I mean, I get that.
Yeah, but then when they see him flirting with,
Well, they're all getting jealous, of course.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
like,
it's going to be
"Ah."
awkward. Period. And like
Yeah.
Josh said, this is a very stressful, a very hard to do show, right? And people
Yeah.
coming onto it after seeing 3 seasons of it already. So we had the 2 seasons, and we had the
Queer love.
the queer love one. Like you got to know what to expect coming on
I
the
think
show.
Queer Love
you know?
was season 2.
So,
No.
what was the second one that came out, and then season 2 came out after Queer
yeah.
Love, but Queer Love wasn't called season 2. Yeah, but anyway, so there's been 3 seasons though, aside from this season, and people by now got to know what the hell to expect and what they're signing up for, right? So
Yeah, come on, you got to see the show. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand what people would motivate to sign up for this.
Yeah, and Nick and Vanessa are kind of hitting it off pretty early.
Oh, big time, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I
even-
liked them together.
Oh, so did I. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He even says he appreciates like a good fart from her. You know?
That's right. He's like, oh, it's cute. And now it'd be cute if you farted on my face while we're sitting on the couch.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
You know.
The things you say when you're trying to
Right.
cover somebody.
Right. Yeah, girl, just let it rip.
Very artsy. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Free. Free with their minds, their spirits, and their bodies.
Right, yeah, evidently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely know you're in the dating phase when you make a comment like that. But Dave didn't like Vanessa's bodybuilding.
Yeah, no, exactly. And of course, Nick's like, dude, I wouldn't give a shit. Cool, maybe I'm gonna do that. Go ahead,
Yeah,
do your
he's
thing.
like, I ain't gonna do that with you, but I'll cheer on the sideline
Right,
for you. or
exactly.
something
I'll be
like that.
home waiting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't get it. Like, your girl's trying to get herself in shape. What the hell's wrong with that? You know? Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. That I mean, I guess maybe Dave was thinking that she was gonna get super into it and get pumped and try to get super ripped, and
Or maybe like
he
go
wasn't
to the
digging that or
gym
what,
and
but
there's
whatever.
a lot of buff guys
of the
there. Who,
gyms.
who the
Yeah,
heck
yeah,
knows?
exactly. Yeah, who knows, man?
Yeah,
but
well,
it's
as
just
you
like,
can-
what the hell,
you-
man?
You see, he's very insecure when he realizes that there are dudes talking to his girl.
Yeah, he was.
And
Big
Micah and JR have a talk about not being with a white girl ever. So,
Dude,
'cause,
and
like,
this, yeah, and they both, and friggin' they're both talking about this like being a hall pass and an opportunity to be with a white girl. And then they both basically said that, and I was like, oh shit. So, you know, and then so that, you know, obviously that comes up later on in conversation, you know,
Yeah.
in episode 5. But
yeah, and like JR, he's struggling between like two people. So I think that's like impacting him a little bit
mhm.
Yeah.
because he was considering what Arya at one point and then Sandy.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. And yeah, dude, and that's the thing too, man, is him and Arya, dude, they had a great freaking connection.
Yeah.
I thought him and Sandy was straight up physical, dude, period. That's all it was in the beginning. They were just flirting and like all over each other and touching and feeling all this crap, and he was just totally into her looks. She was totally into his looks.
Yeah.
There was no real
It was definitely
emotional
a sexual
Yeah,
chemistry.
it was all
the
sexual
thing
chemistry
about
between those two.
Sandy and JR is they rarely ever talk about their other partners.
Exactly.
too.
Like she
It's
didn't
all
even find
about
out-
them, which I get it, but like you,
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone else seems to struggle with
She
that.
didn't even
Yeah.
find out his fucking name until after they decided to partner up, right? She's like, oh, what does JR stand for? He's like, yeah, normally people ask me that on like first date. Like, normally on like the first date, people ask me what that stands for. So, I mean,
JR, I don't understand him. Like first he comes across a little bit of a player, but then you find out like his background, like
mhm.
he's guarded because he's been married before, he's been, cheated on, and so he seems like in his like religious and like I guess his first marriage, like they waited to have sex
Yeah,
until
waited
they
to have
got
sex, yeah.
married. So like he seems very, I don't know,
Yeah, his dad was a pastor, right? He's a pastor's kid.
prude in a way, but then you put him in front of Sandy, and it's like he's like this
Well,
sexual
he-
beast in some way.
well, he
like,
was-
it's
well,
like very.
He was prudish in his earlier years after, until he got married. And after that, yeah, after the
Yeah,
divorce, he's like, screw it.
well-
Let me go find out what's out there and kind of have some fun,
Yeah, but he just
Can't-
seems
can't
a
blame
little
him for that.
more wholesome when you're talking to him, except for when he's talking with Sandy.
Sandy, yeah.
Then he comes
Yeah.
across very player.
I can't
there's
even
two different
believe him
sides
because
to
he's
him.
with Zaina, and Zaina is cool
Gorgeous.
as hell.
dude. Yeah,
I
she's
know.
cool as hell. She's gorgeous. I was
know.
like, man, yeah.
And she seems to want that, but
Yeah.
he doesn't almost. So it seems
Mhm.
like he still has like he wants to get some more things out or something like that.
It'll be
Yeah, He wants
interesting.
to get some out, all right.
It'll be interesting to see him and Zaina together because we've seen Zaina
Mm-hmm.
with her with Scotty,
Scotty
Yeah.
doesn't know.
and we like who Zaina is and how she is in a relationship. But when you're in a new relationship, you're
Mhm.
somewhat putting on a front. You know what I
Of
mean?
course, yeah.
When you go back with the person that you've been with for 2-3 years, and then clearly you were
truly
having
knows you.
problems,
Yeah.
then that communication style might be a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see how they actually interact with each other because I don't know what he doesn't see in her. Like she's perfect.
I don't know.
Oh, dude, she's awesome, man.
Yeah.
But him, and then there's a lot of shenanigans going on with him and Sandy behind closed doors. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's stuff we're still kind of waiting to figure out exactly what the hell happened, right? So,
Yeah, and Dave, he's getting to the point because like Nick and what's her name? Vanessa are becoming pretty close. So he
Mhm.
starts crying, breaking down, and like I thought at one point he was just gonna like do like a previous season and like pop the question
oh yeah.
and take off.
Well, and
if he
later-
was smart, that's actually what he probably would have
Well,
done.
man, remember later on the guys were talking about that, and they were all like, "Man, we were all expecting him just to propose. We're like, we're surprised
Yeah.
he didn't do
Yeah.
it." So, yeah, no, I totally thought that was coming too.
I am excited for the trial. And
You're
then,
excited for it?
Yeah.
So, and I'm actually quite surprised that everyone makes it through the choice, right?
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, at the table.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could tell. I mean, there were three that were really connected, but then you had like Dave and Chanel. Really, the only reason they connected is because their other significant others partnered up with someone else. And the same with Arya and Caleb, right? They kind of connected because they had a friendship level thing going on, and their
I think they
significant others
connected
partnered with
because JR went with Sandy.
Yeah, exactly. That
If
is
they
right.
would have asked Arya first,
Oh, she
I
said
wonder
JR.
if she would have said JR.
Oh, she totally would have said GR. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And maybe the show is smart because they're like, well, we can't do that because that might, the dominoes will start to fall and then
Yeah.
everyone won't have somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Which turns out to be the case anyway.
Yeah.
When people leave.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but so I mean, you got all these people together now, right? They're all partnered up, and then we were talking about Caleb and Arya. That started out as a friendship, but you could tell like as that's progressing, man, they're starting to feel for each other.
Yeah.
And you could definitely tell there was like some kind of some emotional bond growing there and stuff. And I thought it was cool. I thought they were great together. And I mean, she's a sweetheart. He was a really nice dude.
well,
So
one of the things that Scotty, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Her original partner. He said that she's not very physical and he doesn't like that.
Mhm.
And you can tell Caleb is like really slowly trying to get that
Yep.
from her. Like he's growing this relationship, this trust with her, and then they started to like play with their hands together
Mhm.
and like they're not doing anything like inappropriate,
right.
but trying to develop that touch and get her more comfortable with that. So
Yep.
again, it's kind of like coaching her and training her to give a partner
hmm
what she's not been giving.
Yeah, when she even said in the beginning, she's like in the beginning, she's like physically, I really wasn't attracted to Caleb. She's like, but now that we've been living together and I've seen his emotional side and everything, she's like, now like the physical attraction
Yeah,
is there
she's
too.
starting to fall for him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
she is.
I'm not sure how he feels. Like
Yeah.
I still
Dude.
think he likes Mariah, honestly, and doesn't want to give that up. But like I don't know if she's falling like hard for him or just trying to manipulate Scotty.
No, I think she's falling for him,
think
and,
she's
and I think
falling.
he's falling for her too. He just doesn't want to admit it, right?
Why is that?
Because he does love Mariah, and he doesn't want to lose what he has with Mariah. But I think he definitely has.
I mean,
feelings
he's pretty
for her,
clear.
too.
He's like, we're friends, and
Yeah.
she's like, well,
And that's what
He's like,
makes this show so hard is like you're developing this other relationship and it's like
Mhm.
to strengthen your current relationship.
Yeah.
Like it's
I mean, the way he looks at her
conflicting.
sometimes when they're staring each other in the eyes and stuff, is like that dude.
Yeah.
That dude's a little more than just friends with her. He feels that way anyway, but he just doesn't want to admit it.
All right, so let's break these couples down after the choice. We got
Yeah.
Sandy and
JR.
JR, and now they kissed even before the choice.
Oh, dude, yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So I thought that was kind of wild.
Uh huh.
Mhm.
So
And, she was
and
like,
then
oh,
he
gave
has
her
the
a
date
peck.
with Arya, and I was like, oh, but like I'm like, you
Dude.
kissed Sandy, like you
Yeah.
gotta go with Sandy, right?
Yeah, but then he tells Arya, "I'm catching feels," and it's
Yeah.
like, bro, you just playing with these women's hearts now. At this point,
That's why I'm
you know,
like,
you
these
telling her-
two are
This is what
just
I'm saying.
slimy.
Like
Yeah.
I've seen like multiple personalities from this guy. Like
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know who his genuine
No.
self is.
Sometimes I think he's cool, but
Yeah.
other times I'm
He's
like,
like,
nah.
nah. I mean,
Yeah.
he totally went after Sandy for physical, period.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. Because he kept talking about how she's fire, she's hot, she's got this hot energy and all this. And that's like, it didn't say nothing about like she's a sweetheart, she's kind, she's nice. No, it was all about her fire and
You know
that
what
hot
this
energy.
reminds me of?
you know?
This reminds me of the Harry situation. He's Harry. He's saying he wants to be the guy.
Yeah,
He
kinda,
wants to be
kinda.
the good guy, but he's the player.
Yeah, kind
I'm
of.
not falling for it this time,
Kinda.
JR. No. Mm-mm.
But I mean, bottom line is he went for Sandy for the physical reasons, period.
Yeah, I mean,
Period.
him and her like try and come up with like sexy lines all the
Mhm.
time to
Yeah.
get the other one excited. They
Mhm.
never mention their other partner,
Mhm.
and I think it's crazy because he's got Zaina again, and I'm like, how do you give that up for something like this?
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't even think about
Crazy.
Zaina.
Yeah.
And what's funny
Out of
is that
sight,
Zaina
out of
doesn't
mind, I
seem to
think.
really
Yeah.
think much about him
Yeah,
either.
That's
now I
true,
will
yeah.
say she doesn't mention him that often, but
Yeah. But then he's
But-
with Sandy, whose guy is constantly harassing and blowing up
Yeah.
her phone,
Nick.
knocking
Oh,
on the
yeah.
door,
Oh,
and
Nick's
like
a stalker, man. He's like
Yeah.
got the binoculars outside.
Well, see, well, here's what happened. So Nick had that good thing with Vanessa, right? Vanessa and Nick connected really bad.
Yeah.
Like freaking Dave was like trying to get Vanessa to like, hey, we should back out of here. And she's like, nope, I'm sticking with this.
right.
But then Nick, once he found out that freaking she kissed JR, that was it.
Now
man.
they met at
He,
the,
like-
the Starbucks
Yeah,
or where, in
Starbucks
the
the
coffee
next morning,
shop,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
accidentally or
Yeah.
whatever.
And
I wonder
then
if
he
he's like
told her-
cracking her phone. She's at the
Accidentally.
Starbucks.
And then after she told him about the kiss, he like completely freaked out with Vanessa and just started stalking his ex. So at this point, Vanessa's like, well, why the hell do I want to stick with this guy? He's like,
Yeah.
he's like totally caught up on his ex now. So of course, that's
Now
why she
I
bounced.
did like when Vanessa's like when he's like in tears and all this stuff. She's like, "You got me here." and I really like that from her. I was like,
Yeah.
that's really
And
cool.
he's like, yeah, I just need to be alone.
But then she bolts, and I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah,
but
I got it. I
Especially
totally,
with Dave. I
I
mean,
totally
come on.
understood why she bolted.
With
Dave, though,
God,
Well,
Dave.
Whatever, Dave's Dave, but I know you know,
Dave
but I
is
get why
Dave.
she bolted because he was totally so hung up.
I
on
mean,
the
that
shit going on with
dude
his ex.
has issues,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't get it. Just let that chick go. That'd probably be the best thing for you.
Yeah.
And you should have, like, you had Vanessa.
Exactly.
That was an
He-
upgrade.
he-
That's an
exactly.
upgrade to me in
Oh,
every
totally.
category.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
She's more of she's more
she's more
genuine.
grown up.
She's natural.
Yeah.
She's mature.
Genuine.
Everything.
Genuine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he totally had an upgrade with Vanessa, and he should have stuck
Yeah.
out with that
Yeah.
instead of being so
He
hung
could have
up
gave
on
that
freaking,
a good shot, and like
Right.
she was
and he didn't.
kind of into him. And if he
Kinda.
would have reassured her, he probably could have had her.
I think they were more compatible.
He
too.
totally would have had her, dude. She was all in on
they
that
were all
dude.
nerdy
was-
artists,
Exactly.
whatever.
Yeah, they were more compatible with each
Yeah,
other.
and then you got him turned into Banksy and shit when he's going crazy, you know.
He was going nuts though.
Mm.
He's just staring at the window from outside. It's kind of weird that they're all in the same place, right, where they can see
Uh-huh,
this,
yeah.
It's like the Kermit the Frog meme where he's like staring at the reading window.
trying to get a glimpse
Yeah.
of whatever he can. I mean,
And
that's,
then he was like
that's sad.
Marissa from Love is Blind. Like you hear him go in the room and he's just like sobbing. from
Screaming,
his
like,
core.
"Ah!"
I mean, they probably heard him.
he's
in
an
the
artist,
apartment.
man.
That dude in that bedroom, he was screaming and shit. It's like,
And he's the one who gave the ultimatum.
it's like, bro, we've all been there. I feel for you, but you look like an ass. You know?
Oh man.
You do it in private, right? Like not on camera.
I thought he was really cool, but as the show goes on, I'm like, come on, man, get it together.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Hey,
Exactly.
he's just in touch with his emotional
Oh.
side. Let's not make fun.
And he's like, you know, when he found out about the kids, he's like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I'm like, bro, if your girl kissing another dude is the worst thing that's ever happened to you, you lived a privileged freaking life. I'm like, holy
I mean,
shit.
that's pretty
man.
bad, man.
I was like,
when
damn.
you're
But,
into
Well,
but it's
no,
a
actually,
situation that
that's
he
not the
set up.
worst.
That
Yeah.
is-
You know, he set the situation up.
I mean,
Yeah.
how does he not know Sandy like this?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But getting back
But-
to Junior and Sandy here,
Yeah.
they're
Dude,
going bowling and they're making bets, and I
oh, yeah,
mean,
smacking ass and dude. I mean,
and they're
dude,
making out again, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
talk about cheating, and they're both like kind of against it, even though she says, "Well, I feel like if you're married and she,
You still gotta try to
she's
make it
doing
work."
He's like, "Nah."
He's like, hell no.
He's like, I went to the courthouse the next day.
He's like,
Yeah, but then they make out, and isn't that kind of cheating? Is that cheating on the
He's
show
like,
or
No,
not?
they have broken up.
They're broken up.
Is
man.
that cheating?
No, it's not cheating.
So they can
It's
sleep
the
with
hall
another person then.
pass.
Yeah.
And that's not cheating?
And these two might have, right? From everything we're seeing, these two might have done some dirty, man. He might have had a little roll under the sheets a little bit. Had to get to know her real well, you know?
And well,
So-
also she introduced him to her family. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's
Mom,
part of
all
the
this
show,
stuff.
right?
But,
I guess
like,
they're probably forced to do that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
when Nick found out about that. He
Yeah,
didn't
Nick
like
didn't
that.
like that.
Nah.
Nick's like, you got mama involved?
Well, but then the crazy thing is, though, right? Like, her friends were like, yo, like, it's nice to see you not have to take care of somebody full time. Like, evidently, Nick was, like, just emotionally not good always because the sister and the friends are making it sound like, you know, Nick never really gave in the relationship. Like, he was always take for the past 3 years. And, you know, hearing them talk, you're like, huh. So,
Again, it's going to be interesting when we watch these people actually interact with it because we didn't really
Uh-huh.
get to see much of that. You know,
Yeah.
you met the couple, they had talked one morning and then they broke up, and now
Yeah.
you're seeing more of who they are with this new person versus
Who they are
in
with their
their
significant
original
other.
person.
Now, Micah and Mariah, that was like the most awkward kind of conversation after the
Oh,
choice,
dude.
right? They're
Oh.
like
Dude.
talking about like, so
Yeah.
what time do you wake up? Like, who does the laundry? Like,
Right.
not
Yeah,
even trying to
like-
build a
like,
relationship.
can we do laundry together? We're going to do it
Yeah.
separate? Yeah, we'll do it separate, you know? And it was like, okay, good talk. Let's get ready for bed.
There's something
like,
about
oh.
Micah. He's controlling.
He didn't seem really into
No.
this.
No, he didn't seem into it at all.
Um,
Yeah.
I think he wants what he wants, and he wants it on his terms.
Mhm.
So I don't think he was there to learn anything or grow.
He definitely didn't give
or-
it a chance to, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah, and I
So-
thought Dave had an opportunity with Chanel.
I thought he did too. Yeah, I thought he did too. Like at least just kind of like like Caleb and Mariah, right? At least just to talk and get to know each other and kind of help each other out.
Yeah.
And
Now,
nah,
do
he
you
just-
think Dave influenced Chanel leaving? Because they're both left. Well, I mean, she runs out actually first to go meet with
Yeah,
Micah,
'cause
and
they're,
that's
like,
probably all
texting the
Micah,
whole time.
right?
Oh, I'm sure it was. Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like in the middle of the night, everyone kind of There's like some couples that get up and just leave.
Right. Yeah.
Like they're robbing the
Oh, yeah.
place or something.
So I wonder
Because
if
Chanel
like
didn't come back till like 8:30 in the morning, right? It showed her like walking back in at like 8:30 in the morning. You're like,
I
damn.
wonder if Chanel influenced Dave or vice versa in this, because like Micah takes off first, but we know Dave has a thing for Vanessa, and maybe she saw that, so maybe those both actually just influenced
They both
each
influence
other.
each other. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think Micah really had some manipulation to get Chanel to leave.
Maybe.
How that affected Dave and how that all played out, I don't know.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, the show, if they were like, hey, man, we got a contract. You got to see this thing through. Like, you can't go
They probably tried
3
talking
weeks
to him, too.
without them. Come on
Yeah.
now.
Well, they gave us 2 sentences that they left. Like, that's all you
Everyone
need to know.
pieced out.
Right.
Like,
and we let.
Are
and we
they still together? Like, do we have
I
to
mean,
wait till the reunion?
It was so
show
much
to figure
chaos.
this
I was
out?
like, who's here still?
Oh,
Who's
yeah,
with who?
exactly.
Like, what the
Dude, that's
hell's
crazy,
going
man.
on?
What happens to the people
And
that
it
they
was
just
like
abandoned?
it was all. I mean, it was all coordinated because they said they had all talked to each other and all agreed to leave. So it was like a coordinated
Yeah.
thing, man. I was like, damn.
And I was hoping like Nick and Mariah would get together and just at least move in and learn something from
Yeah.
each other, which
Yeah.
they're hanging out, but
Right.
Yeah,
coping together,
but
I
they're
guess.
not moving. They didn't move in together. I
No,
don't
they're
think.
just friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like
Coping together with while their exes get.
Even though Mariah was coping a hell of a lot better than Nick was.
Oh yeah,
Mariah, man, it's almost. Dude,
she
for
seems kind of
some,
oblivious to something.
she does, but for somebody who's 24, I'm like, man, this girl's got like, either she just hides all her shit inside really, really well, you know, or she somehow got all her stuff together at 24. I was like, man, this is
Or
crazy.
maybe she just trusts Caleb like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know that I don't see a true like a strong emotional connect. Like I feel like if it doesn't work out, she's like, well, it didn't work out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like you know what I mean? Like she's not like Nick, who's like obviously like
Oh, that dude's-
heartbroken and
yeah.
crying on the floor. She's like, well, you know, that's really sucks. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see her as invested in it for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I don't think she's not invested. I think she just. It's hard to really nail down her personality, man, because
Yeah.
she just like she doesn't
very quiet.
really
Yeah.
show a lot of
Mhm.
herself, you know. So
Yeah, she didn't
Yeah, I don't
express too much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
And
what
which is weird because Caleb's like he's quiet, but he's very expressive.
Yeah, and I think
He's
that's
pretty good about getting it out of people
Yeah.
too.
exactly, and I think that's why he probably works so well with her because I think in normal like I probably couldn't handle somebody like her. Like
What the hell are they doing on the show then?
Like, I can't read your mind, sweetheart. What the hell do you want? You got to
Right.
talk to me here. Whereas Caleb is, he's that type of guy that can just be sweet and and patient. That dude's patient, right?
He is patient.
He's got the
yeah.
patience just to take the time. So I think that's why he works so well with her.
Yeah, I don't know why those two are on the show.
Yeah, I don't
honestly.
either. No.
So
Because she gave him the
She
ultimatum.
wanted married,
and
yeah,
he's
she
not
wanted
ready to get
married.
yeah,
married.
but I just I don't know why.
And even then, he's like at 24. You know, does she really know that she wants to marry me? Or he's like, that's why I kind of want to wait a little bit longer. So even that is like he's really thinking about it from her perspective.
Yeah.
Wants to make sure that she's ready to get married. So maybe he didn't get shit on later on. But
So we really like Caleb. Is
Yeah,
what we're
Caleb's
saying.
awesome.
All
Caleb-
right.
I like
Caleb's
these
awesome.
two guys. Zaina and Scotty here. They seem like they're progressing pretty well.
for a while,
For a while.
Near the end, it kind of gets like
Yeah.
maybe like
Scotty's
Personality, yeah.
insecurities come out at the end.
well,
Scotty
she's no,
wakes
she's
up-
no
Yeah.
fun. She's like a homebody. Doesn't want to do anything.
Scotty wakes up one day and just has a total different attitude. Like it was almost like watching How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, where she's like, oh, the perfect girl, and then all of a sudden she's just psycho.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah, that
the
was
way
Scotty.
he started, the tone he had with her, and like,
Are you ate without me?
Well, remember
and her face was like, who
he
are
did,
you?
he did blow up on his
Oh, he
girlfriend.
did, in the
So
bar,
let's not
yeah.
forget about that.
He
So
did, no doubt.
is he just being on good behavior?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I don't like the
Yeah,
undertones.
I think Scotty is not what he seems to be.
I agree.
I think the Scotty we started to see at the end there, and the Scotty we saw at the bar with his girl. That's the real Scotty.
That was
I
funny
agree.
because
Yeah.
Arya comes over kind of concerned, and then it flips, and she's like, "What the hell are you?" I don't even know why I thought I was jealous.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I
And even
mean,
then, Caleb was like going to the consoling her in the bathroom, like, "Hey, you all right? You need a hug?"
yeah, Caleb did. You're
Yeah.
right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and then we have like all the guys, all the girls get together.
Yep.
So and some stuff starts coming out.
Oh,
First
dude.
off, it was awkward because Nick's meeting JR, and like the last time they met, like he was trying to break into their
Oh,
apartment.
we didn't talk about that right during Nick's crazy hysteria. This dude's banging on the
This
damn
dude's
door.
desperate. He's trying everything.
What do you mean? He met your mom. God damn it! Open the door.
And he's like, JR's like, you got to get out of here. man.
He's laying on the floor trying to peek through the crack or something.
Jared's like, bro, you can't come in here, man. Like,
What I didn't like though is you see the surveillance of like because you hear them in the background but you don't see them at the door, but you see Sandy coming out and she's smiling at it. She's like, "Oh man, are they gonna go at it?"
Sandy's an asshole, like the way she handles life. she really is.
And then 5 minutes later, when it's over, they go in the bedroom and close the door. So like, she's like, "Yeah, I got you riled up."
Yeah, she's like, he's like, hey, I wasn't gonna sleep with your girl before, but you just rocked her right in my arms, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Nick's trying everything.
Thanks for that stunt.
But then he comes into the bar at the boys get together. He comes in, he's like, "I'm sorry." Like that's the first thing he's like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah. This guy is an emotional wreck.
Oh,
you know what I mean? He's on the roller coaster. He's up, he's down. He's just trying to cope.
I mean, dude, when we first saw this dude, he was calm and collected and cool and all this. And then he just turned. And then he just turned into a psychopath.
This dude's like painting angry and stuff.
Like the shit's going onto the wall. And
yeah, he needs Vanessa. He needs Vanessa to ground him.
Oh, he did.
He was such a cool guy. Like, he was one of my favorite guys when he was with Vanessa. He was such a cool guy.
Poor Vanessa. She had the choice between these two psychos.
Man.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that was horrible, man. I was like, this guy.
Yeah, so now they're at the bar talking about it. He apologizes for showing up at the door, and then JR's like, "Yeah, man, that one cool."
Yeah, and then JR and Scotty kind of get into it.
Yeah, and
like Scotty's just talking, and JR's like, "You sure about that, bro?" Yeah, Scotty, like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
Let's get into it.
Yeah, Scotty's like, "Hey, man, I ain't got nothing against you here, bro." And Scotty, you sure about that? Yeah, I heard that you said I had a hall pass or some shit, and like, really, you kind of did say that shit, but it wasn't the Scotty, it was the freaking Micah, right? So. But Scotty's like, why the hell?
He's like, you're acting like you got a hall pass? Like, what?
Right. So Scotty's like, why the hell would I say that? Like, you think I need to do that to slip in your girl's panties? He's like, nah. He's like, I got your girl right now. I don't need to freaking say that kind of crap. So, yeah, that was just a weird conversation. And then Caleb was like, nah, bro, maybe the person you're hearing it from is doing it to manipulate. And he's like, oh, maybe.
He's like, that's what I'm here to figure out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's legit. And then that's when Nick's like, So are you here for a hall pass? Like, are you guys sleeping together? And
he's like, well, we're sleeping in the same bed.
Everyone's doing that, right? Like,
Caleb, I love Caleb. Hey, I don't think that's what he's asking about.
I don't think that's what he's asking.
That's not what I'm asking.
Caleb
and then Nick's like, no, that's not what I'm asking.
Now we never get an answer to that question. It's just kind of dodged.
We don't get to hear the answer, but there was definitely an answer because then Nick's like, well, thank you for being honest with me. I appreciate it because now I knew all the crazy shit my head really happened.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
And why Netflix does that?
Gonna need. I mean, he needs therapy right now, but you know.
Yeah. And like, why Netflix does that and hides the answer from us, but then gives us the after effect of the answer? It's like it's so stupid, man. It's like, get the hell out of here.
Did they forget that they edited the answer out? Like, it was just like this weird blank stare between the two of them.
Well, then you had, with Caleb, before they went to the guy night and the girl night, him and Aria were talking. Aria's like, well, hey, I'm going to talk to your girl, we're going to talk. And she's like, I kind of thinking about telling her about the emotional
he's
stuff.
Like, you don't need to be doing that.
He's like, nah, what? I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
And she actually does it. It's kind of awkward conversation between Aria and her.
The toxic stuff. She's like, I've heard when people that have been in toxic relationships for so long, even though they were the good one, then they go in a relationship and they're toxic because they were used to it.
She makes a valid point. Like, but I think her timing's wrong and her
yeah, because Mariah's like, I don't think I'm that way.
Mariah is very confused by this whole conversation.
And I don't think Mariah is toxic. I mean, whatever their issues are in the relationship, it's not toxic,
right?
Because there's clearly toxicity elsewhere. But yeah, it was kind of weird. But I mean, she makes a valid point. I can see that.
Oh yeah. Well,
people bring their damage with them,
and it makes sense. And then we see, so now you had the little confrontation with freaking Nick and JR. Then it flips to the opposite side, right? With Sandy and what's her name?
Zaina
having their conversation.
Yeah.
And then freaking Sandy gaslit the shit out of Zaina.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, girl, I ain't trying to get with your man. I'm trying to make it better for you,
I'm here to train him to be the best for you.
I'm rolling around in the sheets with him a few times to make sure he's ready for you.
When she made that comment, I paused it for a second and I thought to myself, was I not paying attention the last 4 episodes? Like,
we're not like hooking up. Him and I are not dating for real.
I was like,
Is that
man.
really what she was doing? And I was making it up in my mind, and I was like, nah.
Well, then she
no,
flips him
she
like,
just
you
flat
gotta
out
do
lied.
what's best for you. If that's
Yeah,
leaving
yeah,
him,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
You need to dump that dude so I can have him.
Exactly. I'm like, this chick, man.
I was like, holy crap, dude.
And
What?
what's funny is Zayn's like face is like
Oh,
she's-
yeah.
she's confused by the whole
Yeah,
conversation
exactly. You
too.
can tell she's kind of like, really?
Yeah, I don't like Sandy at all.
No.
No, hell no.
Mm-mm.
Not one bit, man. That shit was just crazy when she was like that. I was like, huh? I was like, I can't believe she's freaking saying this stuff,
Yeah.
man. Because the truth's always going to come out, right? It's going to come out. You're going to look like an asshole and a liar, which you are at this point. So it's like, why are you even trying to pull that
And they
crap,
do
you know?
tease a preview for what's to come, and she finds out
Oh, yeah.
that they kissed, and that's a problem.
And it's like, and that's just one conversation. Oh, you kissed twice.
Twice.
Yeah,
twice.
but then like you can see there's some like other friction going on, like more dirt comes out, you know. So it's like, man, they probably did the dirty.
I'm really worried for Zayna in all this
Oh, yeah.
because JR, like I said, he's got these two sides,
Mm-hmm.
and the side that he's with Sandy, I don't like. So I don't know how he is again with Zayna.
Yeah.
And then I liked Zayna with Scotty until Scotty showed his true colors.
I did like when Scotty said like his dad was disciplining him and said I love you, and he said I didn't say it back, and then he passed away like the next day or something. So
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So that's like a reminder to him to always be like grateful and tell people in the moment and stuff.
And then to
How
make
you
sure,
feel.
and then you make sure you yell at them, but they don't eat breakfast. They don't eat breakfast with you.
He's like, that's the disciplining part. That's the disciplining part.
This president smacked the food out of her hand. Go sit in the corner and
What
time
the hell
out.
you doing? No dinner for you tonight. I'm gonna eat this shit by myself and make you watch me.
So what are the predictions here?
Everyone breaks up.
Yeah.
Does anyone go for a new couple like Sandy and JR?
The only two that potentially would at this point, I think, would be Sandy and JR, and that ain't gonna last, even if they did.
Right.
So yeah, it's just
I hate that like Sandy and JR are a big focus of this because the four other people left.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't make the predictions until I see how they interact with their original
Can't make the
partners.
prediction till I see what happens. You know?
I need to see how they interact with their original partner. Because
Yeah, that's always a fun moment too.
Yeah, because I don't know. Like I said, I've seen two different sides of a couple different people. So I'm like, I need to see what their true side is versus what their
They need to
Right.
do the Love is
Shows
Blind where
that
the guy's like the liar about the kids and stuff. They need to take some lessons from him apparently.
Yeah, no
'Cause
kidding.
that guy's good.
Right.
So,
he gaslights
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
So-
man.
Put evidence right in front of his face. I don't see it. Where is
Yeah,
it? I don't know.
I think the
I
only
just-
couple that
Facebook
sticks
pictures ain't nothing on
together
Facebook.
is probably Caleb and Mariah.
the most. You think they have the success? Is that what you're saying?
Other
I
than
think
we'll
they stay together.
Probably. Even though I think, honestly, I think Caleb and Aria should get together, man. I really do. I think they were great
Well,
together.
You don't know his original relationship though.
Well, that's
That's
true.
the thing.
Yeah.
We'll find, but
We'll find.
but I said we'll find out. But what he did say, and she was explaining it to Mariah, like, look, here's what he doesn't like about you. Is that you're, too controlling when he's out and about,
Yeah.
right? You're like constantly wanting to know where he's at, what he's doing, like, what time, wanting times like stamps and all this shit.
And she's like, I think that's healthy. That's fine.
It's healthy.
I kind of wish Chanel would have hooked up with someone different than Dave because
Yeah, so do I,
I
dude.
mean that
Yeah.
was unfortunate
Chanel was
for
awesome,
her.
man. Absolutely.
Yeah, so like if she would have hooked up with Caleb, I think that would have been really good for her.
Oh, I think so too.
But she didn't get the chance, and like that's also what's kind of frustrating is once people start like making that connection, and then you're like, okay, well I got to pivot to somebody else because I don't want to be left with no one on the
Mhm.
show. 'Cause
Exactly.
obviously that sucks, and that's a terrible situation as we're seeing with Nick.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
But I think out of all the new ones that we've seen together, the healthiest relationship is Arya and friggin' Caleb, right?
So Caleb is the healthy one
Caleb's the healthy one,
in
right?
the original
Right.
and in the future.
Yeah, evidently.
Well, I think Arya's realizing like how great he is, and
Yeah.
like that's an upgrade for her,
Exactly.
Yeah.
especially coming from Scotty.
Are we going to eat our words here? Are we going to find some dirt out about Caleb? I really hope not.
probably.
I don't know.
I really hope not.
Like, here's what I first thought of Caleb. That's a total stoner right there. Right? That dude, he was just too laid back. Just
Yeah, he is laid back.
Yeah. But then after you start to see him and see him really like he's laid back, but at the same time he's attentive and he listens and he tries to help.
I think
and I was
that's
like,
why he was
okay,
so quiet at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think he was just taking it in and he was
Mhm.
kind
Yeah,
of
exactly.
learning people and their behaviors. I mean, We love
yeah.
Caleb.
Yeah.
He's too good, man. He's making other men look bad.
That's right.
He's like, I brought all three of them because I didn't know which one you like. Man, you call her and you figure it out. Or you just buy which one you
This
like.
guy brought me 3 different teas.
I mean, he's like, let's just hold hands and stare at each
His eyes, yeah.
And what's funny is that when they were staring at each other, it really looked like she was staring at his mouth or his neck. Like, it didn't look like she was staring at his eyes.
I thought she was looking in his eyes.
I don't know. It didn't look that way to me. I was like, this is awkward.
Yeah, no,
But-
she was looking in his eyes. Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I mean, kind of flash back and forth between both of them. I think they were both staring at each
Yeah.
other. And then they played Chubby Bunny, man. Yeah,
Chubby-
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have done that.
we told
Where's the marshmallows?
That's right. Yeah, get the giant freaking s'mores marshmallows. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah. So far, a lot of shit show going on, man.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I can't wait. I can't wait to see all the actual dirt that comes out with this whole freaking Sandy, her lying to freaking, and all that crap, man. I'm just ready to see all that.
I
stuff.
just don't.
You
I
want to
don't.
see some more Nick crying?
That's right.
I just don't want to get disappointed by Caleb. I really hope that he stays
Yeah, no
who we
doubt.
think he is. I don't want to be let down.
I guess we'll find out next Wednesday.
Yeah.
There you have it, folks. That is episodes 1 through 5 down of Ultimatum Season 3. But hey, guys, we love doing this, and we know we've taken a little bit of hiatus. We're sorry for that, but we're back. And we appreciate all you guys sticking with us. And please hit that like and subscribe, and we will check y'all in our next review.